Okay, so I have it now in my game that if a crate falls on a monster, he will die and leave behind little bursts of light. So the way I did this was by creating a particle system. So I went over here, just did a right click under effects, click particle system. And this is the particle system that I created. There's a few things that I changed. Most notably, I made sure that looping was turned off, so that way it's not running continuously. I changed the simulation space to be world and not local. I did this to make sure that the particles would come behind whatever object fell on to the character here. If I had not done that, the particles would go kind of in front of it, and it just doesn't quite look right. And the other thing I did change was the play on awake. By unclicking this, it allowed me to change when the particle system went off. And then the size over the lifetime. So it made it look like the particles were essentially fading out. What was happening in reality is they were just getting smaller, and then the lifespan was ending. And then I went into the monster script, which has gotten a little bit more complicated now. Let's see. So I created a serialized field, which is the particle system. Just called it particle system. I have here checking for collisions that are happening or occurring only from above the monster. So that's known as the normal below negative 0.5. 0.5 is technically a 45-degree angle, but it works pretty well for if you're not quite exactly above the monster. So it checks for any collision, so that does include the character colliding with it. It'll also work for that. And so right here, this is the Onboard Collision, so it checks if it should die from the collision. Right here, it's returning true if there is a collision detected. And then it has the die command, and right here, this line of code is what sets off the particle system to play. It only sets it off to play once, as that's what's been loaded on there. And then the game object has been set active to false, so that way the game object gets destroyed immediately. That is also why the death particle system is technically a parent of the purple monster. So the purple monster is the child of the death particle system. And also under purple monster right here, you have to set the serializable field. You can do that by just clicking and dragging this over, or if you click this, you can also click the monster death particle system, and that is how I set that up.